Can I not live stream horizontally? Why can't I live stream horizontally? Orientation locked. Are we live streaming like this? We might be live streaming like this. I think I should be in shot. Okay, YouTube, I'm trying something very different. I'm going to see what I look like. Terrible like always. Brilliant. Okay, so I have not posted anything in a while. I also got my coffee over here. But I am working on a home lab renovation. Renovating the systems, not the rest of the space. And I am working on making a video for that. I just filmed a bunch of it. So I haven't posted anything, got busy this past year. But I decided to try something different here and do a bit of live streaming while I am working on these computers. I don't know how long this will last for. Could last till I'm sick of it, could last till the phone dies. That's live streaming. I apologize that this is vertical. Apparently, the YouTube app, which I did not realize until I clicked the Go Live button, does not let you live stream horizontally. When I try rotating the phone horizontally, it just says orientation locked. I blame TikTok. Not a fan of it. This should be horizontal. I'm sorry, it's not. So, lots of motherboards laying around. What is the project that I am working on? I have a bunch of new Intel 13500Ts. If you're not familiar with the T lineup of processors, they are processors that are full desktop processors, but for some reason are put into mini PCs. So Intel puts a 35-watt TDP on them. And let's see, what do I actually need to do here? This system needs to go into that case. That is what I need to do. That system needs to come out. This system needs to go into a completely different case. Yes. But first, I wanted to test something. So, I have been running, there we go. I've been running a Ryzen 5800X in a AI server. This is a server that I have dual RTX 3060 12 gigs in. See, maybe I'll upgrade those at some point. But actually, with the way Olama splits models between VRAM within the same system, dual 3060 12 gigs gives me a 24 gig pool of VRAM, which I've been pretty happy with for a lot of playing around. Additionally, it's weird, there's no motherboard logo. Don't know why. It's very odd. The past has been one. I wonder if this is confused about display outputs. Oh, I bet it is. Is this a secondary display on here? If I try punching in my password here. Oh, that moved the mouse. Did something change? I bet. Yeah, I'm going to look at power consumption first here. 56 watts. I wonder if this is trying to output over the GPU. So a 5800X does not have careful with this. I don't have this well mounted. Yeah, there we go. Interesting. So I saw the mouse, but I wasn't getting anything else on the screen. Huh. I'll have to play with that. I don't actually have NVIDIA drivers properly set up on here. We're using the generic Linux ones. Well, I'm going to turn this off. A 5800X doesn't have a display output. So I have been running the HDMI to get a general display out of my AI server off of the GPU. I have been trying to reduce overall power consumption, which is where this project of replace stuff with 13500Ts has come from. And the whole video is going to be on what's actually more power efficient. These Intel processors I picked out or AMD processors, and the answer is it depends on what you want. But the other thing I had considered is I thought maybe outputting video with the integrated graphics on the Intel chip would be more power efficient than having the NVIDIA GPUs have to output video, because I do have a KVM that stays connected and it always shows up as a monitor to the systems. However, this isn't quite working, and I wonder if it's an NVIDIA driver thing. Could also be a BIOS settings. Okay, yep, power supply is off. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take out this NVMe drive that has Zorn on it, and I am going to find my NVMe drive that has Ubuntu server, and this has the NVIDIA drivers on it as well. And then the other thing I'm going to do, do I want to remove the GPU? Yeah, I think I'm going to remove the GPU, because I think with a graphics card installed, come on, nice and easy. There we go. I think with a graphics card installed, the system wants to default to the GPU for video output, because that's probably what most people want. But on this motherboard here, I want to test this with the video output coming from only the integrated graphics and not the NVIDIA GPU. How does the stream look? I would think I would know how to view comments on my own stream, and I do not. Hey, there's actually some people that said hello. Okay. Oh, you know, if I was paying attention, I would know that I wanted to boot this into BIOS. And I would have done that instead of letting it get into Ubuntu server. I don't think we'll ever stop calling it BIOS. It's not technically BIOS anymore. It's UEFI, which is its own thing separate from BIOS. But UEFI doesn't have a nice pronunciation. So here we are calling it BIOS. This is mad at me because it doesn't have networking. And it's expecting network drives. I do have the keyboard connected, right? Yeah, keyboard's connected. I don't know how the best way to stop this. Do I just kill it? Yeah. I might just kill. Well, what happens if I just tap power here? Nothing apparently. Guess we do this the bad way. Probably fine. If the system doesn't have networking, it will sit and wait for like a 5-minute timeout for network drives that are not going to appear. And it's configured to use an interface that isn't even connected. Okay, Gigabyte BIOS. Not my favorite. I think I'm an ASRock fan. Let's see. We got XMP enabled DDR4 system with a Ryzen 3200. Don't think we need tweaker. Always a. Well, avoid swearing. It's always a guess as to what settings menu the things I'm looking for are going to be under. I'm specifically looking for general PCIe boot or power on over PCIe, which will allow us to use network booting. That one always seems to elude me. Actually, the other one that I should look for here, yeah, that's over here in favorites. I didn't favorite these. Somebody else must have. VTD. I'm just going to have virtualization enabled for the chip. Quite frankly, you should probably have virtualization just enabled for every chip. Even in Windows, because of how Windows handles some security. In order to get some security features, you need virtualization enabled. I don't think we want advanced CPU settings or advanced memory settings. That's all going to be AI stuff. We can try miscellaneous under settings. There's very little here. And that's where VTD is. Intel Trusted Platform is fine to leave that on, though if we have secure boot, I actually probably want that to be disabled. Acoustic noise settings. Interesting. I/O, anything here? PCIe bifurcation. It does support 8x8 bifurcation. There's some interesting PCIe cards for splitting an X16 into 2x8s. But getting stuff mounted would be a pain. Okay, we're going to go above 4G decoding on above 4G MMIO BIOS assignment. I'm going to go ahead and enable that. I think that's helpful if you want to break up PCIe devices and pass them through to virtual machines, which I don't think I'm going to do, but we'll turn it on anyways. Let's see. Realtek Gigabit. Yeah, I don't think there's any settings there. VMD. Does anybody know on a Gigabit motherboard where wake over PCIe is? Whoa, how did I bounce back up there? I thought I was down here in USB config. Super I/O, utility, nope. Is there boot settings? And we can disable secure boot. I actually don't need that. Yeah, the other one that sometimes, Windows 10? Okay, other OS. Yeah, we don't need that set to Windows. Fast boot, disable link. Yeah. Where is wake by PCIe? Do not see it. Login device info? No. System date and time. Nothing else there. Platform power. Oh, wait, hang on. RCE power loading. Resume on alarm. We have AC back. ERP soft off by power button. Resume by alarm. We don't need. Onboard LAN controller. Huh. Now the other thing I'm not seeing here is specifically a setting for how to get display out over GPU versus over integrated graphics. I have internal graphics enabled. Oh, initial display output. There we go. Okay, PCIe 1, IGFX. Okay, at least I found that. I am going to have to look up where USB. Surely Wake on LAN is supported. That's SATA config. It won't be that. VMD controller. Oh no, that's a RAID controller. We don't need that. Huh. I really don't know. How exceptionally odd. It always takes me a second, but normally I find it. Is it one of those weird ones where it's like only available in the easy menu? No. Okay, well. That's not a crucial one for today, so we will move on. And then we actually are going to need to kill this right away here. Can I tap? Hey, there we go. Now I want to try the GPU installed. Bit tricky to get into place here. Ooh. There we go. This is not the best test bench ever. Held together with clips and acrylic. Bit wobbly. And actually, I put in this drive here. Now I'm curious, can I see this in Zorin? If I pop Zorin in, but I have this properly set to default output to the integrated graphics, will I see lower idle power consumption? Been chasing this. Man, I've got a dream in my head of a system that draws 0 watts of power until the second I need it, and then can give me everything I need. Doesn't exist. I wish, but it doesn't. Okay, we set the default to yes, and this is why we see gigabit this time. Will our idle power consumption be low? I'm looking at a kilowatt meter down here. I'm saying about 56, 57. See as we get in here. 111, 105, 50, 73, 90. Been all over the place. I think it's just settling in. Okay, so that is interesting. 56 watts is spot on to what I was seeing if the GPU was connected for the display. I kind of expected there to be some power savings for not using the NVIDIA GPU for a display out. I thought the GPU would like sit at lower power consumption, but I do not appear to be seeing that. That's good to know. Hit the power switch again. Okay, now we will try for the Ubuntu one. And I have some internal testing numbers for speed that I am going to cross-reference things against. However, I don't have enough RAM in here yet. I was doing testing earlier with the RAM I happen to have. And this is getting the kit that's currently in server. I'm going to take this out. This is just a 32 gig kit. I cannot see exactly what this is pointing at. So hopefully you have a half decent view of the inside of the server. We have 128 gigs in here, and I will be taking that 128 gigs out. My very small hand, I do not have very small hands. I have quite large hands. think you hear about a lot of people in the PC space talking about their weirdly small hands that allow them to work well in this hobby slash business. And I'm here to tell you, you can absolutely do it with big hands because I have to do it with big hands. There we go. $128 gigs of this way a bit. I don't know if I can get, if I place this, oh, will I put a foot on top of the heatsink? That's probably fine. Yeah, that works. 128 gigs. What are these? 3200 megahertz CL16. Fairly bog standard for what was effectively end of the run DDR4. Really end of the run? What point do you think they stopped producing it? I actually don't know. At some point, figure just about everybody will stop producing older memory SKUs. I'm sure no one produces the original DDR, 1 SKU anymore. Probably no DDR2. I'd even be surprised if anyone's producing DDR3 anymore. Could be wrong. There could be some manufacturers who sort of specialize in keeping old systems running. But I would guess at this point they're probably just relying on DDR3 RAM modules that already existed, even if they're making new PCBs. Doubt anybody's making that capacity RAM module anymore. Let's see. Do I need, I suppose I should boot into BIOS once here. Otherwise I don't know what frequency this will run at. We are on the DRAM boot light. Will we need? We're gonna need to reset BIOS. Oh, no, we don't. We went to VGA. I thought for sure we're gonna have to clear CMOS there. And that's our boot light. Extreme Memory XMP 3200 16 CL16. Looks like memory frequency is running at 3200. Okay, excellent. Oh, now the slow part. Like the rest of this isn't slow. Slow part is we're going to have to wait for this thing to get past the thing where it sits and waits for a network device that doesn't exist. So, while we wait for that, so very curious to see. We are getting a display output. Yeah, we're stuck on the ENP3S0 renamed to ETH0. It's just going to have to deal. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to start disassembling this system that the camera's actually sitting on top of right now. Maybe just go like that. Entirely guessing at angles here. Okay, what all needs to come out of here? Let's see, we have a SATA cable that has never been used, so probably doesn't need to be in the system, but I will probably put it back anyways. Oop, and I'm dropping screws. do I remove USB 3? Oh, I hate this connector. The USB 3.0 connector, the internal one that goes onto motherboards is... There we go. Not a good connector. While I'm at it, can I get its 24 pin without destroying my hand on the cooler here? That is one stuck in their 24 pin. I think I have it a bit at an angle, which is probably why it's just stuck. There we go. Yeah, it's that 24 pin right next to the nice metal grills there. That's what's going to get me. The setup is actually in sort of like a pull-pull config, where the fans are both mounted to the fin stack in front of them and are pulling air through and exhausting it out the back. That way this cooler still maintains perfect RAM compatibility because your RAM modules will stick up in front of it. I think they stopped making this cooler. This is made by up here. It's the dual 92 millimeter cooler, or dual tower 92 millimeter fan cooler. You don't see a ton of coolers in this size class. And here I am dropping a screwdriver on a motherboard. I should really switch to longer screwdriver. That would help. Well, I might have an issue here. On top of not broadly liking to boot, when it can't find the necessary drives, that system is not wanting to boot at all right now. It is completely stuck on that one line of ENP3SO renamed from ETH0. R8169. You know, I wonder if connecting Ethernet would help. I run a line. How odd. Now, how many screws do I have left? Did I get them all? Nope, I missed one. Missed one screw. And because I will definitely forget. I tossed Wi-Fi antennas on here. If I do not remove those, well, this board's not going to want to come out of the case. What do we got here then? We have a chassis fan connection that needs to come undone. That is just running off to a fan hub. We have I believe that's a USB 2 front panel connection. Servers with front USB. I don't think I ever use them. I always connect the front USB on server chassis because I cannot stand a port that just sits and isn't capable of functioning. It's a pet peeve of mine. Never use the connections. Just don't like them to not be connected. Oh, I zip tied things. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I zip tied these fans to this power supplies cable in order to keep everything tidy. Ooh, I'm very good at dropping stuff here, aren't I? I gotta go fishing for 2 of those now. Well, luckily they are highly magnetic. Or ferromagnetic, meaning a magnet sticks to them. I think... Okay, yeah, I don't have to remove the coolers as long as I leave the fans out. Though I am keeping this cooler with this case here. So... one more fan connector for the CPU fans. That should be a motherboard. Now, don't get the I/O shield. I'm going to move the rest of this case nice and carefully off to the side. I use this nice silicone mat on my table. Is that showing up in the shot? Yeah, this nice gray mat. This is like a 3mm thick silicone mat. Non-conductive. And protects the table. Also, great for not damaging a pin if you just set it down. The question here is, how do I get this computer to boot? I have no idea. We're going to try Googling this quick. Let's see, what do we got here? We got Ubuntu server. We have ENP renamed to ETH0 no boot. See if Google can give us an answer here. Seems like Google's gotten progressively worse. So I suppose if that doesn't work, we'll have to ask ChatGPT. Network interface named, changed default network name. Yeah, see, I'm getting nothing here for no boot. Linux, how do we name? Nada. Not like the display. I mean, it could be an NVIDIA driver thing. Let's see, Ubuntu server. Yeah, it's probably a net plan issue. Okay, so what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to kill this system. We are going to have to reboot, and we have to get into safe mode. Okay, apparently that just started right up. Didn't leave the power supply off long enough. So, VGA, boot. Let's see. Advanced options. We will select the newest kernel, but in recovery mode. Let's see if that works. I don't see any... I just realized I might have another problem. This didn't even occur to me. I have not updated this version of Ubuntu server in quite a long time. And that kernel version said 5.18. When was support added for Intel CPUs with both big and little cores? I don't remember. Let's see. Give root password for maintenance. Hey, brilliant. Okay. Since it's getting stuck, okay, we'll do IP address. Okay, yeah, so we have a thing here called EMP3S0. We also have wireless, which we're not going to configure. Let's just try doing a net plan config here. I don't think this is what the issue is, though. I really don't. I think the issue is the Intel big little architecture on a kernel that does not know how to deal with it. But we can try a reboot with the new network interface name placed into the net plan in place of the other interfaces. However, I use NetPlan quite a bit, and I really don't think that's what's causing this. .20.04. I think this is a 5-year-old Ubuntu server install. Because it hits this point fast. And yeah, it's stuck here. I don't think the GPU would be giving any sort of output here. Yeah, it's still on no signal. Well, I might cut off this video if that is the thing I have to go fix, because I was fully planning on rebuilding a system with this exact same SSD, and now I'm thinking that I can't. Well, so I guess that's the live stream. If you are interested in seeing what I am doing with all of this and why I'm sitting here with a kilowatt meter looking at power consumption, be sure to stay tuned on the channel, because that video is coming more or less as soon as I can get it edited. Otherwise, right now, I'm probably going to go put this in a different system and try doing an in-place kernel update, because I'm lazy and I don't feel like reconfiguring TensorFlow and things. And then I will be trying this again. So, what do we got for time? 8:14, not too bad.